dealing with the pendulum. And before I go into how that's going to work out, first I want to make sure we understand what exactly we're looking for. So mathematically, we're not going to worry about the pendulum until later in the semester, but we want to focus on this thing called the period. And so what the period is we're starting and ending at the same point before we start our motion over again. So there's really kind of two major places in which we tend to record the period. So the motion of the pendulum is going to be moving back and forth. The first place, and in my personal opinion, the less fun place to try to do this, is the straight down point. If you want to use the straight down point, you'll need to use that through all of your measurements. And what you would be doing is looking for starting your timer when it's straight down. It will need to go to one far side, back to the straight down point, to the opposite side, and then back again. And that is when you would hit stop on your stopwatch. The other place you can do it, and the place that I personally, when I try to do this, I use is one of the far points. So that could be when it's the closest to me or when it's going to be the furthest away. And that's just a little bit visually easier to see. And also what you can do is it goes away, it comes back, and that's going to be the stopping point for your time. So you're going to pick one of those 2 points. You could technically pick any other point that you want. It's just going to be a lot harder to visually make sure that you're at the same exact point every time. So you're going to be measuring 10 individual times. So we're going to be doing this 10 times. And then I'm going to be using this photo gate here to get the same value. So I'm going to just pull this back. I'm not going to, I'll stop it and I'll start it again a little bit later. We're going to pretend this is ideal, in this case that it is friction-free. I know it's not, but we're going to pretend right now it's ideal, so I'm going to just only start it over one more time. So you'll just pick 10 cycles of your particular choosing. So we're just going to, whatever you're doing, you're going to keep taking the data sets. If you want to pause the video, go back and try that same time period again, that's fine, as long as you get the 10 different data sets. You shouldn't be doing the same exact pendulum swing every time, because that's going to kind of skew a little bit of information. So, this has been going for a while. It's not going as far as it used to be. Again, this is because we're pretending it's ideal when we have things like air resistance and friction happening, but we're just going to pretend. So I'm going to stop it. I'm going to put the photo gate here. And so what the photo gate is going to do is it's going to wait until the pendulum passes this exact point. So it's going to wait till it does the full motion throughout. So that's what going to be the beeping is. So it's going to be a little bit harder if you're trying to take the time here, but it is possible still if you want to. Okay, so if you want to take, okay, let's not use that one because that wasn't very straight on my hat. Try to fix that a little bit. All right, so we're gonna, it's shaking a little bit. All right, so we're gonna try that again. Hopefully this time I'm not going to hit the sides of the photo gate. So there we go. So again, just make sure you have 10 data sets, and then you're going to put your 10th one into the class data sheet so we can do a little bit of data analysis on that. Just gonna get this out of here. So this is going to be for part 2, and then we're going to move on to part 3 once you're done with this, which is related to, we're going to go back to dropping the tennis ball. Okay, so here we're going to be doing part 3, so we're going back to the same setup as number 1. So I'm going to be
Time out.